Welcome to a special edition of Rocket Green Radio, and I'm your host, Antonio Saillant. Why is it a special edition? Well, that's because it was actually an interview I conducted under my other radio program, Celebrity Spotlight Radio. But because of the nature of the topic, I decided to release it also on my Rocket Green Radio platform. So here's the deal. I interviewed this amazing director, Megumi Sasaki, and she did a documentary film entitled A Whale of a Tale. Such an amazing film. It hit emotionally for me right in the heart. I want you to experience the interview. I want you all to run to the theaters in LA on August 24th, in New York City, August 17th. All the information will be obviously in the description, but you can also find it in the official website, AWhaleofaTaleFilm.com. So here's the interview. Enjoy it. It'll be on also my YouTube channel under Celebrity Spotlight Radio, and also on Rocket Green Radio YouTube channel. So enjoy, and please leave me comments. I love to hear from you, and enjoy. Welcome to Celebrity Spotlight Radio, and today's guest is Megumi Sasaki, and she did a beautiful, amazing film that I'd like to share with you. It's called A Whale of a Tale. And when I saw the film the other day, I was just so amazed because I saw the COVE. And honestly, I wish your film was first.
Oh.
And I'll tell you why. Because the COVE was, to me, very brutal. That I don't think it deserved an Academy Award. And I'll tell you, and I think when you're dealing with Japan and the culture, I think the worst thing you want to do is feed them a lot of negativity. I think there was, your film brought two sides of the story. And I want to know from you is what got you to do the film in the first place?
I was very shocked to see the movie The Cove in 2009. And I knew of Taiji. I knew that they have a very proud history of whaling of like 400 years. And when I saw The Cove, I thought that they really didn't seem to understand the culture or spirituality behind it. Because there's a huge difference between, I think, Japan and US or in the West about the relationship between humans and animals and nature. And I think in Japanese, it's a mixture of Shintoism and Buddhism.
Sure. And
they kill animals, but they believe that the human survival is based on some form of life. You know, whether it's animal or fish or plant, you know, we have to sacrifice some form of life.
Right, so how did it feel? Were they very uncomfortable when you arrived with a camera and you were doing this documentary? Because obviously the COVE spread such havoc into their community, their way of life, that here's another documentary being done, and they're probably saying, well, it's going to be very negative, which it wasn't. I love the fact that you showed both sides, and I was very intrigued. Were you like threatened at all when you came in with the camera?
Well, first I went there without camera. I met, you know, community leader, mayor, fishermen's union, so that, you know, they understand clearly what I was trying to do. and they're sort of frustrated by the COVE. So when I said that I really like to introduce your voice to the world, you know, but not just your voice, but this is not going to be promoting the dolphin or whale hunting in the movie, but I just wanted to see a sort of comprehensive picture of this controversy, and they were willing to participate, even though they're kind of reluctant and a little bit skeptical, I would say. But yes, they're willing to participate.
But Taiji is such a beautiful place.
It's a beautiful place.
Yeah, you capture that completely in the film. You know.
And I made sure that Taiji is a really beautiful town with a gorgeous nature, because it was portrayed as a grainy sort of like, you know, spooky town, and they said it's a small town with a big secret, but it's not. You know, what they practice is totally legal, and nothing is hidden. I mean, yes, they do hide the slaughter of the animals, just like, you know, we do here in the States. We don't openly slaughter like animals like cows and chickens, you know, and they promote that killing.
And they do,
So they are very sensitive about it, and so they cover it and they hide it because they don't want to show it, and I think it's quite natural. But I thought that the COVE portrayed the town of Taiji in a very wrong way, so I made sure that the Taiji will be portrayed in a beautiful way.
Well, you did just that, and also I was very unhappy with the Sea Shepherd, especially Scott, because like the COVE, he came in very strong in the movie, called them names, you know, putting them down, and a lot of the protesters also that you captured were calling them monsters, and that's, I think, was hurting for them. But you know, in Japanese culture, I mean, they stand by their ancestors. This is going on through generation and generation. So I feel like they came in a little differently, more social and understanding and listening, being a listener. I think it could have been a different way. That's why I said if your film was first, it would have been amazing. Because let's face it, once people today, in today's world of social media, Twitter could destroy somebody's life, destroy a country, you know, and hate, and that's why you got to be very careful. Look, the other day, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson took his family to an aquarium, his kids, you know, and he posted these lovely pictures, him with dolphins and whales, you know, on social media, and the animal activists, they went after him.
Right.
Now, all he did, now, for me, there's a connection. You know, do I agree that they should capture with a reason, like Taiji, right? They're going to be slaughtered and murdered. Well, how about we take them in and raise them so they don't? Because let's face it, you let them out into the ocean, they're going to die. So, and then it's a learning process. I mean, not only for us, but for them, for the dolphins, they get human interaction, you know, and being kids, growing up, it's a learning process. Wow, it's a dolphin. And that's exactly what Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson did. He was petting one of them, he was having a great time with his family, you know. And I believe that your film captured that too, because you saw the human side to both sides of the story. And was that your intent to do that?
Yes, because there is like a, you know, really strong movement towards, you know, eliminating dolphin aquariums and dolphin shows, and which, you know, I understand that, but I think, you know, every part of the world have their own speed of progression moving forward. Not just about dolphins and whales, but also about the democracy, women's rights. You know, like the women in Afghanistan cannot accept, you know, the same speed of the process of accepting women's rights because of their background and history. So we cannot push, you know, each country or each region as we do here, I think.
Yeah,
so
I totally agree.
That's something that I think, I'm not saying activism wrong at all. I think we should treat animals with a great care. I think we should treat animals without cruelty. But I think it's such a sensitive issue, especially when it comes to, a cultural, history.
Yeah, I agree. That's what they dating back 400 years.
Mm-hmm.
And to have anyone in any country come into somebody's turf, land, and start criticizing something that's been around for generations,
mm-hmm.
what they should have done is open their arms and see how can we fix this, But like I said, the COVE, doing a movie like that was just too much, I think. And look, 32 years ago, this November, Star Trek came out with The Voyage Home.
Mm-hmm.
And that was about the future. There was no humpback whales. So they went, because they were extinct in the 21st century.
Mm-hmm.
So they went back to the past to bring back 2 humpback whales to the future.
Right.
So showing that film to them, right, compassionate, they might have connected in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And then showing your film, maybe after, right? It would have hit hard, because I think people, even though it's been down in generations, people have changed
mm-hmm.
over the years. Which is one thing that Scott said correctly. There's been a lot of changes in the world that people are accustomed, like slavery, he mentioned. And eventually, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have that. You still have a lot of racism going on, obviously,
mm-hmm.
that we're still working through. But I totally could understand how your film fits. And I'm very happy that I saw your film, because, I'm more like I am an activist, but I was an aerospace engineer a long time ago before the entertainment business. I used to work for Con Ed as an energy consultant. So I got into this field because that word being sustainable came into the picture, and I said, what's that?
Mm-hmm.
Because I only knew it as energy conservation,
mm-hmm.
saving energy and, saving the planet in my way.
Right.
But now sustainability means a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
The ocean, the animals,
mm-hmm.
right?
And
the
human
food,
beings too.
Human beings, right? Well, they mentioned something called mercury, right?
Right.
And they looked into that.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
site.
that's like one of the biggest myths about
Right.
mercury in the dolphins and small whales meat,
Mm-hmm.
because Taiji has been always target of the fierce criticism, not just about killings, but also this mercury, they say contaminant. But mercury is not the only thing that you can find in the whale meat. And also, so the mayor actually ran a very comprehensive test, and they sampled, checked the hair. Actually, they picked up the hair sample
Right.
from the residents, and then they found out the mercury level is very high. Like, for example, I think it's about 4 times higher than the Japanese average.
Wow.
But surprisingly, no one had any health issues at all, which is also surprising. So what is mercury?
True.
I mean,
true.
they only talk about the high level of mercury found in the whale meat and dolphin meat, but how does it affect the human body? They don't really get into that. But so the mayor of Taiji didn't want to go with the rumor anymore. He wanted to have scientific evidence. If it's really bad, they cannot even talk about tradition. It's about this, human life and human health. We can't, hide this. So he wanted to have a truth. So he did it along with the Minamata Institute, which is the world, leading research organization about the mercury contamination. So and then they found nobody was sick, even with like a highest level of mercury level. They were so healthy. And then actually the guy who had the highest mercury level, he didn't even eat whale meat or dolphin at all.
Yeah.
So there's a huge myth surrounding it. And also the mercury level they find in the dolphins caught in Taiji is just about the same as the in tuna. So
that's true.
Yeah, so
yes.
we really have to look at the issues in a very, and from many aspects to it.
Right. I think the United States, I'm not even going to say the United States, a lot of countries use that as an excuse to get Taiji to stop what they're doing.
Exactly. And if mercury found in the ocean, like a fish or dolphin or whales, is that harmful? So how come dolphins and whales are not sick? Why they're not healthy? Why they are just swimming in its healthy being, right?
Yes. I know that Caroline Kennedy at the time, she was the ambassador to Japan. I don't know who's the ambassador now for Japan. I'm not sure do you know his name at all?
I can't remember, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can't remember, because I know he was appointed in 2017, I just can't off the top of my head. But anyway, has anything else, like today's, is it still going on, the slaughter and
Nothing has changed.
That's because they still have resentment from the first film. I'm just being honest as somebody looking from outside, looking in. You know, is that's what it is, and if that film didn't exist, I think there would be a much open dialogue.
Yeah.
You know, because of it. But I'm so happy that this film is out, and I think everybody should definitely go. And it's coming on August 17th in New York City. Right?
Yes, August 17th at Quad Cinema. I'll be there for Q&A for the evening shows, so yes.
And then August 24th in LA.
Los Angeles at the Alumni Music Hall.
Okay, and then it's going to go into...
San Francisco, September 7th at the Mission Alamo.
And where can we find information for this film?
AWhaleofaTaleFilm.com.
Okay.
And also we have a Facebook page, so if you can go to Facebook and keyword search AWhaleofaTale, you'll find us, and you find all the updated information there.
Is there going to be a sequel to this film?
I hope not.
Yeah. One question, Jay,
Yes.
the journalist. I liked him.
Yeah, I like him too.
He was great.
Yeah.
And what's he doing now?
He's actually back to Taiji now. He's finishing his dissertation for the doctor. His doctor's, yeah.
Well, thank you for coming, and definitely I hope this film goes all over the world, because I think people should see this film.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure meeting you.
Pleasure meeting you
Thank
too. Thank you.
There you have it, another great episode for Celebrity Spotlight Radio. Thank you.